back to my channel. Thank you so much again for tuning in today, for subscribing, for commenting, for liking, for sharing all my videos. And if you're not subscribed, make sure that you subscribe today, right now, because you're gonna miss out videos on this channel. So welcome back again to Wisdom Wednesdays, and we want to go straight into the word. So let's go to the book of Genesis chapter 12 verse 12 to 15, which says, "Therefore it will happen when the Egyptians see you that they will say, 'This is his wife,' and they'll kill me, but they will let you live. Please say that you are my sister, so that it will be well with me for your sake, and that I may live because of you." So it was when Abraham came into Egypt that the Egyptians saw the woman, that she was very beautiful. The princes of Pharaoh also saw her and commended her to Pharaoh. And the woman was taken to Pharaoh's house. You know, Sarah is a very fascinating character, and I absolutely love Sarah. She's one of my favorite biblical women that I look up to. There's so many lessons that we can learn from Sarah in this 21st century. So many things that she can teach us when we study the word. We can learn a lot from her. And in this scene, the scene opens up when Abraham is speaking to his wife Sarah, and he's saying, "Sarah, you're so beautiful. And you're so beautiful that the people in Egypt, if they see you and they see me with you, they will kill me so that they can have you to themselves. Promise me, Sarah, that you'll say that you are my sister and that you're not my wife." You know, Abraham, I love Abraham. He was so humble that he spoke to his wife. He didn't command her. He asked her. He needed her help, and he respected her. You know, when I read this, I see the respect that Abraham had for his wife. He asks her that she may preserve his life for her sake. You know, Abraham is speaking to his pillar. He's speaking to his treasure, that she helps him, that she protects him, that she plays that place of being a rib to him, that she covers him by saying that she is his sister. And in reality, Sarah was actually Abraham's sister in a way, sort of like a half sister. You know, Sarah and Abraham were actually fleeing from a famine. There was a famine where they were staying in the mountain east of Bethel. That's where they were coming from, and there was a famine there, so they had to go to Egypt to flee from that. When Sarah got to Egypt, everyone saw that she was very beautiful, and it's only two women in the Bible that are called very beautiful. You know, some of the women that are described in the Bible that were beautiful, the Bible says that they were fair to look upon or they were beautiful, but it's only two women in the Bible that the Bible describes as very beautiful, and that's Sarah and Bathsheba. Now, as a woman in the 21st century, would you be able to keep such a promise? I mean, when Sarah got to Egypt, everyone saw her great beauty. You know, her beauty was a self-promotion of its own, a campaign of its own. She was very beautiful. You know, we are talking cute or pretty here. We're talking very beautiful. So you get to Egypt and everyone thinks you're a goddess or you know, beauty queen, and everyone is just amazed by your beauty. I mean, Egypt, I can describe Egypt as what you would call London or New York. And you know, Abraham and Sarah are coming from villages, from a mountain. They lived in a mountain, east of a mountain. These people were living outside. They didn't have a home. So this woman who's coming sort of from a rural area, and she goes into this big city of Egypt. I mean, Egyptians probably had all the makeup, all the perfumes, and all the good stuff that can enhance your beauty. But Sarah's beauty was a natural beauty. And you have to understand that there are some people that God gives the gift of beauty. There's some people that are gifted in beauty. And Sarah was one of those people that had the gift of beauty. And, you know, this woman who's coming from the rural area, she comes to Egypt where there's already all these things that can enhance your beauty. But still, she's overwhelmingly beautiful, and the Egyptians, when they see her, they are amazed at her beauty. Sarah didn't need to say anything. She didn't need to promote herself, self-promote herself, or display her pictures on Instagram, posting your selfies on Instagram and on Facebook. Sarah didn't need to do anything because her beauty spoke for her. Her beauty had a voice. So when the Egyptians saw her, you know, they spoke about her so much that it reached the ears of the princes of Egypt. So her beauty became famous. She became so famous by just arriving in Egypt. She became so famous because everyone was speaking about this beautiful woman, and it reached the ears of the princes of Egypt. But even the princes of Egypt, they saw and they thought, no way. She's just too much for us. She's just out of our league. Let's recommend her to Pharaoh the king. Only someone like Pharaoh is able to handle such a beauty. Only someone as rich as Pharaoh, as prominent as Pharaoh, as important as Pharaoh is able to speak and accommodate such a woman of great beauty. So Sarah became so famous that her beauty reached her to the ears of Pharaoh. And I just glorify God, because I believe when God gives someone the gift of beauty, it's meant to glorify him. It's meant to do a purpose for his kingdom. You're not made beautiful so that you can be selfish, so that you can use people with your beauty, so that you can gain things from people. You're not given the gift of beauty to do that. You're given the gift of beauty for a bigger purpose, a kingdom purpose. So Sarah and Abraham ended up in Pharaoh's palace because Pharaoh took her in. And of course, Sarah remained faithful to the promise. How many of you will be able to do the same thing if you're in the shoes of Sarah right now? Will you still be able to say that this is my brother? Sarah is now in this palace. She's famous. She sort of has it all at the moment. She has all the attention of everyone. She has all the riches at her disposal. These women, when they were in these palaces, they would change clothes 2-3 times a day. These women will be bathed in oils, bathed in creams, bathed in milk. These women would have all these spa treatments, all these beautifying things and lotions and oils and perfumes, just like Esther. One day you're sleeping outside with your husband, even though your husband is not really poor, but you're sleeping outside in tents. You are riding on donkeys and camels, and the next day you are in this palace and you have all kinds of jewelry that are worth millions of pounds, and you're changing clothes 2-3 times a day, and people are bathing you, and everyone says that you are beautiful and you are famous overnight because of your beauty. How many of you will be able to still keep the promise to your husband? How many of you will reject that boyfriend or that fiance that was with you for the last 2-3 years? How many of you will reject your friends and the people that were there for you from the beginning, when you now have all this fame, when you now have all these riches, when you now have everything that you ever need as a woman? How many of you can still keep the promise? This is why when God gives a gift of beauty, it's so important that the inner beauty matches the outer beauty, because if you cannot have that inner beauty, that beauty that you have outside will kill you. That beauty that you have outside will ruin your entire life. It's so important to have the beauty of humility inside. When we read the story, we might think it was so easy for Sarah to, experience all these things, but this was a time of testing for Sarah. These people were covenant people. These people were meant to have an Isaac. This was a time of testing, and believe me, the devil was tempting Sarah in a major way behind closed doors. When she sees Pharaoh, this man is powerful, this man is prominent, this man is the richest man in Egypt. And then she looks at her husband. This husband is saying, we need to go to a land of milk and honey, a land that God is going to show me. I don't know where it is, but I'm just going to follow his voice. Let's just go. My wife, you need to follow me to this land of milk and honey. I don't know exactly where it is, but you have to follow me. And I believe that God is going to take us to this promised land. She's looking at her husband, and she's thinking, this man is saying that we need to go to this land. He doesn't even know where it is. He just said that he heard from God. But I have this man here, Pharaoh. He's established. He has everything that I ever need. This is what the devil would be whispering into Sarah's ears. Like, look at your husband. He's telling you that you need to go to a land, a promised land that God has told him. You don't even know anything about this land. How do you know that God told him that? Your husband, does he really know where he's going? Look at yourselves. You've been sleeping outside in tents. And now you have this king. This king can be your new husband. Just reject him. Tell Pharaoh and all the Egyptians that this man is your husband so that they kill him. Let Pharaoh kill him. And then you'll be Pharaoh's wife. You have everything that you want. You're famous. You're the most beautiful woman in Egypt. You have all this jewelry. You have all these pleasures of the palace. What more do you need? Just tell Pharaoh to kill Abraham. This was a time of testing. And Sarah is the perfect woman that teaches what submission really is. Sarah submitted to her husband. in a time where she had everything that she needs, in a time where she was powerful, in a time where her husband depended on her. His very life depended on her. But Sarah remained submissive to her husband. In marriages today, there are women that earn more than their husbands, and they begin to mistreat the husband because they're earning more than him. They begin to look down on him because he's not earning as much as they are. There's so many things that happen in homes and in marriages because maybe the woman is a little bit more powerful, a little bit more prominent. And so that headship is lost in the house because she has lost the mindset of submission. She has lost the identity of being a rib. And it's the same way as single women. Some of you have been given the gift of beauty, but you are misusing that gift. You are using that gift for the wrong reasons. You're using that gift for selfish reasons. You're using people with your gift. You're using your gift to get yourself to places, to get yourself into places, to get yourself material things. Using your body to get yourself material things. You're naked on Instagram. You're naked on Facebook. You're posing naked in magazines. You're using your beauty for the wrong reasons. You have lost the true reason of the gift of beauty that you've been given. Some of you are so prideful because you're very beautiful. You think you are everything, but beauty fades. There's always going to be someone who's younger. There's always going to be someone who's more beautiful than you in the next 5 to 10 years. You have lost the plot of what the gift of beauty really is. You have lost the significance. You have rejected God that has given you that gift, and you have rejected his ways. You have rejected his purpose. You don't know how to use that gift for the kingdom of God. Some of you are so beautiful, but you don't submit to God. You don't submit to God who has given you that gift. Your beauty has given you so many opportunities, but you still will not submit to God. You won't even pray to God. You won't even worship him because you have all these things. You're so busy now because companies are calling you every day. Companies are trying to get you to show their products. Magazines are trying to get you in magazines, modeling projects. And now you no longer worship God. You're not focused on your gift of beauty. You think that your beauty is going to last, but beauty fades away. And you have to submit to God. Some of you are so beautiful and you're allowing men to use you because of your gift. It's very dangerous to have the gift of beauty if you don't know God. It's very dangerous to have the gift of beauty when you don't have humility, because people will use you. Everyone will want a piece of you. Companies are going to want a piece of you. Men are going to want a piece of you. And it's very difficult. Some of you think, oh yeah, that's all that I want. Then my life will be so complete because all the attention will be on me. But it's very difficult. And that's why some women now have HIV. Some women now are now divorced. Beauty has a price. There's a price for beauty. And if you don't know Jesus Christ, if you're not led by his Spirit, that beauty will kill you. That beauty will kill the purpose that you're here on earth for. That beauty will steal the purpose that God has given you. It's very, very difficult. Don't think that it's easy to be beautiful. It's not easy. Everyone is going to want a piece of you. You'll be like a puppet if you're not careful. So the question is, are you faithful with the gift of beauty that God has given you? Are you using it for the purpose, for a good purpose, or are you using it for selfish ambitions and selfish purposes? We can learn a lot from Sarah. We can learn to be humble with the gift. Sarah was very beautiful. She's probably one of the most beautiful women in the Bible. Sarah was still humble. She was still submissive. She was still faithful. Sarah did not allow all the compliments to get over her head. She didn't allow all the attention and all the wealth and prominence that she received from Pharaoh, all the attention that she received from Pharaoh and from Egypt and from the Egyptians. She didn't allow that to steal her humility, to steal her faithfulness, to steal her place of purpose, and that is as being a wife to Abraham. She didn't allow those things to steal from her. That is why God sometimes doesn't give us certain things, because we won't be able to handle those things. And some of you are very beautiful and you're watching this video, and I just want to encourage you to learn from Sarah today. Learn to be humble, because if you're not humble, that gift can kill you. Learn to be faithful to God, because if you're not faithful, you will lose your place of purpose in this world. In 50, 40 years time, you'll be old and wrinkled, and what are you going to do? Are you going to look back and say, I've accomplished this, this, and that? Or are you going to regret because you allowed your beauty to live for you and you never lived your purpose? So this is the word that I just want to encourage you, women of God. And I just hope that this word blesses you, and I just hope that you can learn these lessons from Sarah. So God bless you, and thank you so much for watching.